Wonderhussy here. Apologies, I look so beat up this morning, but this is day 4 of a 4-day off-road excursion. I've been camping and sleeping in my car in the desert with no running water for 4 days. So please forgive me. That's right, this is day 4 of my 4-day Mojave Road expedition. Me and my friends Larry, Jessica, and Myron have been traveling the old Mojave Road, which is an off-road trail that goes all the way from Needles, California to Barstow, California, kind of cutting across the Mojave Preserve. And it was an ancient trail originally used by the Mojave Indians to go all the way to the California coast. But this section of that ancient footpath became a wagon road in the 1800s, so a lot of pioneers traveled this route to get from Fort Mojave near Needles to Camp Katy near Barstow. So we're kind of following the old pioneer route, and we're kind of doing it at an old pioneer pace, which is actually recommended when you're traveling this road. You don't want to blaze through it too quickly, because first of all, you'll miss a lot of the weird, quirky, hidden oddities out here in the Mojave Preserve. A, and B, traveling at the same pace as the pioneers kind of puts you more in their headspace and gives you a better idea of what this journey was like. I mean, think about it back then in wagons with horses they had to water. There's not a lot of watering holes out here. I mean, the first night of our trip, we camped at Fort Paiute, where there was Paiute Spring. There was a water source. And there's pretty much a water source every 20 miles or so along this route. So that's what the pioneers would have done. And that's kind of what we've been doing. First day, we only went 23 miles to Fort Paiute. The second day, we made up some mileage. We made it all the way to mile 68 and stayed at Camp Mojave. And last night, we continued along past mile 100, where the Traveler's Monument pile of rocks is. It's a kind of a big point of interest along this road. Well, we passed that and went a few more miles, but we started to get into some kind of loose drifting sand dunes, and it really wasn't safe to drive in at night especially. So we just kind of found a little spot off to the side of a road and made camp. But now it's another beautiful morning. It's still really overcast, and it looks like it is raining way back over there, but so far we've been lucky. I mean, yesterday we had to cross this big soda lake, which is a really big dry lake bed out behind YIKES. And we were warned by many people, don't try to cross Soda Lake, because it just rained last week and it's kind of supposed to be raining today and yesterday. So, conventional wisdom was that it was just going to be one big mud puddle. But my friend Jessica in particular is very stubborn, and she didn't want to be mansplained to. And she had a feeling that if we drove out on it, it probably wouldn't be that bad. So I'm a wuss. I'm like, well, I don't know. They said we shouldn't go on it. Maybe we shouldn't. Well, we all drove out to Soda Lake. We got there around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and it was pretty dry. I mean, there was a couple of damp patches, but it was fine. The road took us safely across, and we made it. But now, like I said, we're facing these loose, drifting dune fields, and to be honest, that freaks me out a lot more than Soda Lake did. I mean, I have been stuck in a muddy dry lake bed before, but I've also been stuck in sand twice, and it's no fun. So I'm hoping we get an early start on the route today. We're already, like I said, at like mile 104-ish. We got to go all the way to the end is mile 133. I don't know if we'll be able to make it all the way to the end, because there's a water crossing that, again, people have been telling us is too deep to cross right now. And I certainly don't want to flood my car, so I'm going to proceed with caution, but I'm also going to proceed as far as I can along the old Mojave route, because it would be really cool to get all the way to the end. So that's only about 30 miles from here. 30 miles seems like a very doable day's drive. I mean, we do have several side excursions marked, interesting things we noted on the map, so those can be time consuming, but if we get our asses in gear right now and get going, we just might make it to the end of the road by sunset today, and with any luck, I'll be sleeping back in my warm, cozy bed at home tonight. Okay, wow, we made it through all the loose, drifting blow sand, and it was pretty hairy there for a bit. I've been stuck in sand a couple times and I'm really hinky about it. So just the feeling of my car kind of fishtailing a bit in some of the heavier drifts was spooky. But I was in 4 low and the car just did its thing and I got through with no problems at all. And then we came out into this spectacular canyon. It's called Afton Canyon. And I don't understand why it's not better known, because look at how friggin' beautiful this is. I mean, these railroad tracks run right through it. I mean, it looks like a Disneyland ride. Look at these formations on the friggin' canyon walls. That looks like Bryce Canyon or something. It's just absolutely spectacular. There's our cars. Everybody got out to take pictures and video. Myron's doing his large format stuff, and with these formations, he's gonna get something amazing. So, believe it or not, we're actually passing through the Mojave River floodplain. There is a Mojave River that goes through the Mojave Desert. It's underground, a lot of it. But we've seen little patches of standing water as we've been driving along. It hasn't been anything crazy. But just up ahead here, I'm not sure you can see, but the vegetation gets a little bit thicker. Well, apparently there is a water crossing up ahead in about a mile that, according to some people who posted on Facebook commenting on our plans for this trip, they strongly urged us not to do it. It's too deep to cross. So we might end up having to turn around in about a mile and not do the rest of the road. Wah, wah. We're here at about mile 120 though, out of 133. So we've come so close. We'll see how far we can get. Oh man, it's really coming down out there. I had to get in my car to get out of it, but listen. It's like the coziest sound ever. I remember this past summer I was camping in Colorado, like the southern part of the Rockies, in the rain. Oh my gosh, I slept so well back here with the sound of that rain on the roof. But the sound of the rain isn't totally cozy being in this canyon. I mean, the more it rains, the more that water crossing ahead is filling with water, and it's gonna be a doozy. All right, we made it all the way to the dreaded Afton Canyon Mojave River water crossing, and it looks like a doozy. I guess technically in this circumstance, you're supposed to have waders or galoshes and walk out in it to see how deep it is. We don't have waders or galoshes, and none of us feel like getting our feet soggy. So Myron is dipping a tripod in the water to see if he can gauge the depth with that. But I don't know, dude. I mean, he's got a pretty good lift. I've got a pretty good lift. Jessica, I don't think has a lift, but she's got pretty good tires. I don't know, man. I am kind of risk averse when it comes to this kind of thing, so. All right, so Myron has a snorkel on his rig. So what we're kind of thinking is maybe have Myron go across, and we'll watch him and gauge how deep it is from his car, and then depending on how that goes, then Jessica and I will follow suit. Yikes, dude, I don't know. That's pretty gnarly. I don't know, dude. Look at that last little bit he went in. That's pretty scary. Yikes. Oh my god, I am definitely not trying that water crossing. After Myron got to the other side, he kind of hiked as far back across as he could to communicate with us because our walkie-talkies are on the fritz. He said he was scared, and he has a snorkel. You know, he barely made it across. Like I said, I have a lift, so my air intake is a little bit higher, but Jessica doesn't have a lift at all. She was all gung-ho to try it. I'm too hinky. I am not going. I mean, I'm a risk taker, but a calculated risk taker, and if I can just drive around this and get to the other side a different way, I'll just do that. I don't have to prove how big my balls are to anyone. Lord knows they're already big enough for a woman. Woo! we made it to the other side of the river crossing by backtracking to Basin Road, getting on the I-15, coming down to the next exit, which is Afton Road, and getting off there. But it stopped raining in the meantime. So Larry has pointed out that the water level actually went down since we were last here. And it also could be the angle, the perspective from this side, but it really doesn't look so bad from here. Oh well. Man, I am so glad for once in my life I didn't succumb to peer pressure and go across that damn creek. Because look. An old air filter. Somebody lost their air filter doing that crossing. And this thing is soaking friggin' wet. Alright, we made it to Afton Canyon Campground, which is this really cool little campground down here by the Mojave River. $6 a night, and for that you get a picnic table, a barbecue grill or a fire ring, trash cans, and vault toilets. Me, I think I'd rather just camp for free out in the desert like we've been doing. Holy wow, that train was amazing. And even more amazing, Loony Larry, put his cell phone on the railroad tracks and shot a slow-mo video of the entire train passing over it.
After running 5 football fields.
He saw the train coming. Our cars are way out there. I don't even know if you can see them. We saw the train, or Larry saw the train coming, and he hauled ass across the desert, up this sand dune, up the side of the thing. But he got some really cool footage, and I'm sure he'll be posting it on his YouTube channel. What's that channel?
Eminence Front X5.
You gotta see this footage. It's really cool.
Holy
Okay, we better get back on the road though, because Jessica's getting bored. Okay, wow, traveling along, we're almost to the end of this Mojave Road, but she's still got a few surprises left in her. Check out what we just drove past. It's a burned up, shot up, buried off-road truck. Look at this thing, man. Holy cow. Buried in the desert. Cruiser fides, huh? Look at this. Zeinhardt Designs. I love this, man. All these off-road stickers on it. Look at that. Chaos Fab, huh? Whoops. I don't think any amount of suspension or any size tires is going to get you out of this jam, boys. Tumbleweed in the middle. Holy crake. Look at that. That's why you don't want to cross Soda Lake when it's raining, everybody. Okay, well, you might hear a familiar noise in the background. It's the sound of passing traffic. That's right, I'm back in civilization, standing here at the side of the good old Interstate 15, aka the main drag between LA and Vegas. But what's interesting is you can see the I-15 going off into the distance over that pass towards Los Angeles. Well, just south of that is where we were traveling on the Mojave Road. The last part of it, after leaving Afton Campground, you just kind of drop down into the riverbed and you follow the river along, where we saw that buried 4x4 truck. It just kept going, and the weather was raining and the skies are threatening, and there really weren't any more points of interest, and the road started to get real soft and sandy. So we made a group decision to not go all the way to the very end. We made it to like mile 128, 129, where we could have gone another 5 miles to the Camp Katy very end of the route. But most people who travel the Mojave Road stop at Afton Canyon anyways. So we didn't really feel like we were cutting any corners or cheating too badly. And besides, it's cold and we've been off-roading all day and have really worked up an appetite. And there happens to be a pretty good restaurant right around the corner. All right, I got gas in my tank. I've got air in my tires. And I've got food in my belly. Myron made it across the water crossing and pretty much took off. He did meet up with us back at where we turned. We went back around to the cut around. He did meet up with us to make sure we were okay, but he had different ideas about how he wanted to spend the rest of the day. He wasn't really interested in going all the way to the end of the road with us. So he went home, and the rest of us all decided to celebrate the end of our Mojave Road adventure by having a celebration meal at the Mad Greek Cafe in Baker, one of our favorite places, right guys?
Rock on. This place rocks.
Yeah. Hey guys, a toast to the Mojave Road. Oh, Larry's not having a drink. Larry's too busy filming. That's Larry, always working.